What a beautiful manipulated chart we are looking at. Ladies and gentlemen, this is pure manipulation that we are seeing today around this $23 price because there's huge financial incentives to keep AMC under $25 per share. And people have expectations. I even had an expectation, which I usually don't, of the stock being up more than 2.77%. But you know what I've been doing? I've just been kicking back, putting my feet up, and thinking about it. A lot of people are like, hey, you're wrong. This person's wrong. That person's wrong. But if somebody, came up to you in the streets, at your work, wherever they were, and said, hey, I don't know how long it's going to take, but sometime in the next X amount of months or X amount of years, you're going to become a millionaire. You don't have to do shit. Set it and forget it, and you'll be a millionaire. What would you say to that person? Would you say, yeah, I'm just can't do it, man? Would you say that? Sure as shit, I wouldn't. With that being said, I think people should see the trade for what it is and understand the manipulation that is going on. These kind of things are going to happen, especially when there is huge financial incentives here. What's ultimately going to break this cycle, though? That's more important. Fuck the manipulation. Fuck the market makers. Fuck what they're doing to the stock. We don't give a shit. Most people don't. If you do, you're in this for the wrong reasons and you're too damn emotional to be invested in the markets. Now, what really matters? What's going to cause this to stop? The liquidity crunch. That's all it is. A liquidity crunch, a liquidity crisis, whatever you want to call it. We just put out a video at 2 o'clock going over the Chinese real estate liquidity crisis that they are in. They are no longer even reporting their debt. They said, yeah, fuck that. We're not doing that no more. We have to double down on the same strategies that are losing and ultimately crush our country into the ground. But maybe we will make a little bit more money. So, hey, the owners are going to get rich. They're rich as shit. They don't care. Right? So that's what's ultimately going to cause this thing to change courses. And a lot of people that make content talk about China, Evergrande, these other property developers that are going out of business. No doubt about it, they will go bankrupt. But people put it in the context of these defaults actually matter. The defaults don't matter. American investors, hedge funds, institutions, market makers, banks, they don't have enough exposure to Evergrande or the property developers themselves to move the needle as far as drain liquidity. What will drain liquidity is when these property developers actually go bankrupt. Once the Chinese stock market starts to head downwards, once the American market heads downwards as well. Because if somebody tells you that Evergrande going bankrupt and the Chinese sector of their economy, that's 25% of their total GDP, going down or essentially collapsing is not going to move the needle down in our markets, it's full of shit and they're lying to you. So with that being said, that's going to cause the biggest liquidity crunch. On top of that, cherry on top, we don't need this factor, but cherry on top, stimulus is gone. Spending is going to be dramatically reduced in the second half of 2022. So, to put that in English, second half of 2022, that's when you're going to see liquidity at its lowest point in over 2 years. That's a fact. Nobody can argue that, right? And that's when you're more primed than ever to see the AMC moass. Because what happened in 2008? Volkswagen short squeeze. I know you're like, hey, we don't give a shit. We've heard about the Volkswagen short squeeze for over a year now. Got you there. Totally agree. Fuck the Volkswagen short squeeze. Very similar, but fuck it. What people fail to realize is there was tons of other short squeezes going on at the same time. It was not just Volkswagen. Volkswagen was very popular because a German billionaire killed himself because of it. Because he lost over $1 billion of his personal net worth, his business, his hedge fund, his family office shut down. So he killed himself. Very unfortunate. And there was a lot of other things like that tied to Volkswagen. So it remained relevant. There was a lot of other companies that were running up like crazy during the bottom of the markets in October 2008. Just doesn't get talked about very much, and that's because of the liquidity crunch. And the market makers, the people that are manipulating the stock, say like today, to keep it under $23, they have to spend an outrageous amount of money to do that. It's not cheap to do that to a stock like AMC, right? You can get into all the intricacies if you want to. We're not going to make an hour-long video about that right now. Just know it takes a lot of money to do what they are doing to the stock right now. And that's basically all I wanted to talk about that. Just so everybody's on the same page, because I don't usually put it out there like that, in a 4-ish minute segment. But that's the scope of this trade. Now let's focus in on the manipulation and the data that you guys need to know. So the $23 price, we're heading into the last 30 minutes of trading. I highly doubt we will close above $23 per share. Because why? They have been spending an outrageous amount of money to keep the stock under 23 because they have a lot of money on the line. And this revolves around the option chain. And obviously, we do have about 75,000 puts that are in the money. What is at the $23 strike on the put side? Half of that total open interest. Half of it. 36,000 for open interest at the $23 strike. Crazy, huh? So they don't want to have to buy all those shares. They don't have to if they keep it under 23. Even in after hours, it doesn't matter what the close is. By the end of after hours trading, by 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., once the stock stops moving, that's when you will know if they were actually forced to de-hedge or not. And that's where you will know if they ultimately manipulated the stock enough to keep it under 23. It doesn't even matter by the end of regular trading. They can trade stock in after hours. So it doesn't really matter. Now, on the call side as well, at the $23 strike, that's where you start to see more activity. 2,500, 4,000, 8,300, 7,000, almost 10,000, 8,300, 11,500, 20,000 for open interest. So of course they're going to keep it under 23. Should it be under 23? No. This announcement significantly moved the needle as far as AMC and GameStop's valuations. And you're not seeing that reflected. Even take a look at the volume. This is comical. This is so comical. We dropped 11% off 45 million for volume. We are currently at almost 45 million for volume today, and the stock is only up 2.47%. You should be seeing a much bigger move based off of just the volume, the trend that we were even looking at back here. And that brings up another situation. We have basically cracked the algo. So I do expect a move up, but not over $23 today. It's very clear what they're doing. But we hit $20.80 per share December 14th, as well as yesterday, $28.80 per share. What happened last time we hit that low at $20.80 per share? The stock started to rip. We went up about $12 bottom to top. So if that happens again, that would break us out past the 20-day simple moving average. That would break us out past this neckline of the inverse head and shoulders at about $29 per share as well. So that's what you're looking at here coming likely next week. I have a lot of trades based off of exactly what I'm saying. And if you guys want access to all of those trades, make sure you guys check that out. Pinned link down below in the pinned comment. Take a look at all these trades we've been making. A Facebook put made about $11 on that, about 11% profit. AMD put made about 80% profit on that. Another Facebook call played the other way, made about $100 on that. But this Lucid, $77, bought that yesterday at noon. That hit a high of $400 today. So I sold out at $235. Some people held it, all that good stuff. But check that out if you guys want to be a part of it. Buying to Peloton and DraftKings as well. But we can talk about that more if you guys join the community and you want to support the channel in that way as well. Let's move on to the short interest. All of this other data that you guys need to know. We're looking at 17.39% short interest of free float, about 89.26 million shares that have been sold short, share utilization of 75.58%, and the days to cover at 2.45. Same situation. Not too much has actually changed, and these numbers, not very accurate in my personal opinion. So let's keep it rolling. Stock Tracker data. They're looking at a insanely small percentage of the total calls expiring today that are in the money. Only 4,600. That's, dude, I don't even have to say anything else. We have 4,600 calls that are in the money, 168,000 that are out of the money. That is the lowest ratio of in the money to out of the money calls that we have seen on any expiration in a very long time, since as far back as I can remember. And for the call side, or for the put side, like I said, about 75,000 puts that are in the money, about 42,000 that are out of the money. A really high, percentage of puts that are in the money compared to out of the money. Next week, nothing substantial really on the call or the put side. And then January 21st rolls around. 102,000 calls that are in the money, 538,000 calls that are out of the money. I think it's going to take a lot of capital to really hold the stock down during this moment. But if it's not the market makers, it's going to be the Fed, it's going to be Congress, it's going to be young Biden, it's going to be somebody else. Take a look. Wednesday, January 26th, which there is a bit of a silver lining to this we'll get into in just 1 second. Wednesday, January 26th, we have the FOMC meeting, the 2-day meeting. All eyes are on this. Fuck the inflation reading that comes out January 12th. Nobody's going to care about that as much unless it comes in well below or well over expectations. If it comes in well below, the markets will react very bullishly. If it comes in much higher, the markets would sell off. But I mean, we're already at those high levels, so to come in much higher, you're pushing hyperinflation. So I don't think that's going to happen. So January 12th, that's not a catalyst. X that out on your calendar. This FOMC meeting, that's going to be key, where they're potentially going to confirm that they're going to be selling massive amounts of treasury bonds, mortgage-backed securities, and they're going to push interest rates through the roof. They're essentially beating the economy into the ground to build it back up again. Build back better, right? Exactly. So that's the situation with that. But the silver lining is Monday is January 24th. So that big expiration is Friday. That's not the same week as the Fed meeting. So it is possible that we will see a run-up until January 21st. And that could still be a big day because this fear catalyst is not for the following week and halfway through the week at that on Wednesday. So that expiration, that January 21st, could still be very, very key. But we do have to make our way back up to about $40 per share to really see a lot of the open interest go into the money on the call side. We have about, last time I checked, 56,000? Now we have almost 60,000 for open interest at the $40 strike. So keep all of this in mind. And we've just been going through the video. We're, getting close to the end of the day. And voila, where is the price of the stock? $22.95 per share. Doesn't look like they want to let us go over 23. Something we've known for a while now, but hopefully this provides you guys some clarity into at least my thought process and how you guys should feel about this trade as well. Fuck them. That's all I have to say. Fuck them. If you guys want access to all of my trades in real time, link down below in the pinned comment. Like I said, also to support the channel and to help make all of this possible. If you guys want free stock with Public, Webull, or Moomoo, check those links out, link down below in the description. Love and appreciate you guys, really do. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.